Welcome, Guardians. So awesome to be here with you again.
What's
Last time
up,
we got up
Larson?
here, we got a chance to show you
Here we
Savithin,
go.
the Witch Queen, and her majestic throne world.
Since then, it's been a wild year for Destiny.
You returned to the original Loot Cave to reclaim the fabled Gallarhorn.
Then, you exorcised an ancient evil from a hive queen, so you could put it inside a grenade launcher.
What we do.
Now, you've been spending the past few
We showed
weeks
Hidbreaker
cleansing
stuff.
a derelict Leviathan from its twisted nightmares.
In fact, the last year has been the best year we've ever had in the Destiny community. I hope you can feel it
Absolutely,
as well.
always make it again.
And seeing this kind of reaction from our community, it's both humbling and inspiring.
Because our team here at Bungie, we're not just developers, we're also guardians. We're trying to build what we'd love to play in Destiny, and that's what brought each one of us here. Brought us not only to Bungie, but also brought all of us to this final showdown between light and darkness.
So, without further ado, this is the beginning of the end. This is Lightfall.
Oh, trailer, here we go. Hey, yo, what's this?
When they see this glorious end, they will come for us.
Hey, yo.
To savor the fruitless struggle to its last drop. It's who they are.
We're damaging? What is happening?
Let them come and see. Our shame reveal what they do then. Unshackled from hope.
Yo, what is that?
That is who they are. Because only in the end are we free.
Yo.
I've seen that thing 100
What?
times now, and every time I see it, I still kind of get goosebumps.
What?
Instantly, I had chills. It's all here. It's all happening now.
What was
It's
that?
Finally coming to a head.
Thematically, we really have been honing in on that kind of bombastic, big set piece approach.
It's gonna be over-the-top action, adrenaline pumping, like the whole time.
This is really kicking off the conclusion to the Light and Dark saga,
What?
where we finally face down this foe that we've been anticipating facing for so long. It's
Hey,
pushing it to
yo.
11.
We've been hinting at this malicious force in the darkness.
Where
that's
was
been
that,
an
though?
enemy behind a lot of our conflicts. We revealed that enemy. We put a name on it and put a face on it, and that enemy is the Witness. And the Witness is coming with its newly empowered disciple, Callus.
Callus is really crash landing with a new and more powerful army than ever before. They've got new powers, they've got new armor,
at the
they've
Cabal.
got tormentors to join their ranks that are gonna
Tormentors.
be bigger and badder enemies than we've ever
Yo.
faced. Callus is taking that army that he's bringing with him to be the harbinger of the Witness's doom.
Dark Cabal.
This is such a pivotal moment for Destiny. Everyone is coming to have a last stand with Callus and the Witness to really avoid the next collapse, something that we've been trying to avoid ever since Destiny 1.
Where is that, though?
We see in the trailer that we're headed to Neptune, and on Neptune there's been
Neptune.
this hidden city called Neomuna, where an alternate version of humanity has been blooming since the collapse.
Oh.
Neomuna is the capital city of Neptune. It's a giant metropolis that we were completely unaware existed until now. What's interesting and exciting to me about this place is that it's pristine, it's new. It's not like a lot of the places that we've explored previously in Destiny. exploring that space is very, very cool.
There's so much new stuff to discover in Neomuna and in Neptune. And also I saw some new characters there. I'm really excited to get to know Cloud Striders and their story.
Cloud Striders?
Cloud Striders can be compared to Guardians. They're both protectors of a civilization that's potentially under threat. But Guardians were chosen. It's their duty to protect humanity. Cloud Striders have chosen to protect their people.
There's like an awesome opportunity for the Guardians to learn from the Cloud Striders and their way of living and
That's interesting.
their philosophy of life.
So
Oh,
we've got the newness of that city, the newness of the Cloud Striders that we've never been aware of.
And then, of course, you get a glimpse of this green energy. I wonder what that is.
gee.
Strand is the
Strand.
darkness power that we discover here. Something that's unique about Strand, unlike any of these other powers we've ever had before, when you play through Lightfall, you are discovering this power for the first time. No one in the universe ever in the history of Destiny has used Strand before.
This is the Guardian discovering darkness on their own and learning how to shape it and manipulate it and use it against Callus and his forces, and, you know, have fun in the new urban environment of Neomuna. You are really gonna have to prepare yourself for a wild ride.
We just got a glimpse of our new destination, Neomuna, our new foe, Callus and the Shadow Legion, paired with the Witness,
Shadow Legion.
and a very brief glimpse at Strand, but that's just barely scratching the surface of what this release has to offer.
Right, like what we've just seen in that trailer is just the tip of the iceberg, and we've got a whole lot more we're excited to show you coming up.
Last
That's
year,
very
we
exciting.
wanted to return to our studio's roots.
I like
and
the
create
theme
some
of
the
it.
Best shooter campaigns in the industry.
That's been our legacy since Halo, and we tried to push that front and center in The Witch Queen.
And it's about more than just guns, but creating an adventure in a handcrafted world full of surprises. Then, we added the Legendary campaign option, because great combat needs to challenge you, to test your
Legendary
tough
was
skills, your
fun.
tactics, and your build crafting.
And we heard loud and clear that you want more of that. In fact, 2 out of every 3 players that completed the Witch Queen campaign did it on Legendary.
You tested yourself against the Witch Queen in her Lucent Hive and rose to that challenge. And then you let us know it was one of the best shooter experiences that we've ever made.
So with Lightfall, we want to push that even further. We want to give you the best Bungie action experience that we can create with the brand new Lightfall campaign.
Okay.
Lightfall is going to change the way that our players move, fight, and explore everywhere.
Hey, they
in
brought him
Destiny.
back.
Neptune is this fantastic
There's
destination. The
James.
capital city of Neomuna is a really fun place to explore, and it's this bright neon metropolis. There's a harbor, office buildings, an arcade.
It's an
This
arcade,
is a
wow.
city that we've made, and using Strand to traverse through it and explore it, it's going to be so exciting.
There's some places that once you whip out that grappling hook, ooh, you're gonna be able to explore and get to places that you
Confirmed
couldn't
grappling
before.
hook.
Look at that up there. I wonder if I can grapple to there. I'm going to be a kid in a candy store.
It's not a city that is collapsed. It is a city that has lived through the collapse.
Neptune now has to deal with the cloak being pulled back and them being revealed to the world and are now central of the conflict.
Callus has taken his capital ship and just like planted it right down in part of the city, and it's Cabal occupied territory. It's a city under siege. You've got this infiltrator vibe at times where you feel like a tactical team going into a skyscraper. You're dealing with Cabal roadblocks and patrols all throughout the city. The Shadow Legion, they provide that like characteristic Cabal brute strength. They're all about like volatility and power, and they've been enhanced now by pyramid technology. They have these suppression devices that can take away some of your super, take away some of your abilities, and then they fight alongside these terrifying new pyramid units called Tormentors.
Tormentors.
As part of his discipleship to the Witness, Callus has been upgraded. And so the Tormentors that they've brought in are these impossibly huge, unstoppable behemoths. They wield scythes, they can attack from a distance,
Whoa.
they can bring you in close, they can drain your very life force from you. They are basically embodiments of terror.
It's like a boss character within the battlefield. Your stomach drops. You're like, okay, I'm playing through, I'm having fun, I'm popping heads, doing this thing, and then boom, there it is.
we've got all the new stuff going into the game. Strand, Tormentors, Shadow Legion, a cool new environment. These are all a great setting for a new Legendary campaign, and we're still making sure that we go through and we tweak and tune and we balance the encounters to have that right challenging level of difficulty for players.
The Legendary campaign was a huge hit coming out of the Witch Queen. It was the first time we had done that sort of elected difficulty where you could really test your skill and test your power. And so we're going to bring that back for Lightfall.
Of course, you're still going to have that higher reward tier, and we still want to make sure that you get that inside track towards being raid ready.
Everyone back in the studio is so hard at work on Lightfall.
Oh, there's Vex there
putting in
too.
the details and making this whole release come alive and continue to surprise and delight players. I am so excited to get this out.
Lightfall is unlike anything players have seen before in Destiny, and it's another step that sends you hurtling to the conclusion of the Light and Dark saga.
Okay. Strand. Oh, let's talk about it. Come on. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's sick. Ooh.
Come on. Amazing.
I'm super excited to dive into Strand and talk about all the new stuff
Ooh.
we just saw.
Strand, like Stasis, is a power from the
Oh, it
darkness.
suspends.
Unlike our light abilities, which are all about creation, darkness is more about consciousness.
Yes.
Strand is psychic energy that forms this extra dimension, or this sort of matrix that connects
Psychic.
everything together,
Ah.
connects all living beings and all minds. And you, the Guardian, are sort of gaining the knowledge and gaining the power to peer into this alternate psychic universe and begin to pull at these threads and tug at these wires that are connecting all these living beings.
When Guardians learn how to use Strand, it's almost like this third eye opens up. It's about peeling back the curtain of reality, taking those connections and then weaving them into new objects.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool to see them come together. Like, it's always been there, and now that we can tap into it, we can use it for our benefit, whether it's through movement or
Honestly.
through damage.
Strand has a grappling hook. Since you're seeing into this cosmic web, you are able to grapple at any point because the
Oh,
cosmic
that's
web
cool as heck.
exists everywhere.
Oh.
Even if there's not an object there, it will hook on to that.
You can
web
just.
and
Oh,
pull you
that's so
forward.
cool.
It's just taking that idea to the next level, putting that
The
Destiny spin on it.
Yep. The grappling hook initially started as part of the Hunter's Kit, right? They're all about fluid movement, rapidly traversing space, and being very agile. But as we were developing, it's like, oh man, this feels like it's too much fun.
Everybody's got to have it,
just keep
yeah.
it to one class,
I can
right?
see that.
So we made the call to expand this super cool new ability across all
That's
three
so
classes.
sick.
On the design side, we wanted to come up with how each of the classes interpreted this additional psychic dimension, like in their own way, right? So the Warlock, they're the telekinetic master of Strand.
Oh,
So they're
yeah.
gonna be able to
Larson, this is
telepathically
us right
reach
here.
into the Strand dimension, pull matter out, and weave it into this big barrage of these Strand missiles. Wherever they land, these missiles are actually going to unravel, sort of reweave themselves into a new form.
With
Are you
Titan,
kidding me
you're
right
able
now?
to weave these claws and do
Look at
an
the
area
Titan
of damage
too.
around you, spinning and slashing.
Titan is literally
Super
spin to
I'm
win.
most excited for is the Hunter Rope Dart Super. The Hunter does a flip and weaves these strands. into
Oh,
this
Hunter's
rope dart
sick.
and is swinging it as they're kind of moving around. The first time I saw that, even in its kind of like rough state, it just blew my mind. We've learned a lot from creating our other subclasses, and we've taken those learnings about combat, about movement, about build crafting. We've put that all into Strand, and I'm so excited to see where players take it once it's out there in the wild.
Oh, that's dope. The knitting
Destiny is
super.
a
Oh my
game
gosh,
that
please.
gets even better when you play with your friends. We want to create communities that are welcoming, inclusive, and that let you bring your old friends and make new ones. And since last year, over 5 million new Guardians have
Makes
joined our
sense.
ranks.
We believe that there are still millions more of your friends that would love to play Destiny with you. And the things that you want to see us improve in Destiny are also exactly what's going to make it easier to convince your friends to come and check out the game.
Oh.
It should be easier to create custom, incredible builds.
Okay.
Easier to find people to play with. Easier to swap from being that boss-melting, storm chaser-wielding, falling star juggernaut right into that ultimate yeehawing, dead man's tail shooting, Titan's rampart crutching sentinel.
Okay.
If none of what Joe just said makes sense to you, we want to fix that too. Because it's not about removing the depth that makes Destiny so great. It's instead about allowing everyone to dive deeper with ease.
The changes we're making to make Destiny easier to come into, changes to how you build your characters, changes to how you see what there is to do and what there is to accomplish.
Loadout
And
selection.
in the year ahead, we're actually making it easier to form groups in Destiny so you can go and do some of the greatest content that Destiny has to offer.
All the teams are working together to build this experience, and so that's what's really exciting.
We keep on hearing from players like, hey, unless I have a friend to play with, I don't know what to do. And so what we're trying to give them is like, hey, here's a path to follow. Guardian ranks are this like
Guardian
basically
ranks.
like a knowledge ladder. We actually progress you through 11
Oh.
ranks, and it's really like heavily focusing on like exposing players to all the systems of Destiny.
At some point, the story about you as a Guardian involves other Guardians and what they think about you.
Oh.
That's just a whole new dimension of your journey through Destiny that we've never really explored before. When you show up in the tower and you see that person who's at one of the highest ranks.
Also the
you're
music,
gonna know
though.
that you're looking at a player who's actually really demonstrated mastery of many of the different activities in Destiny, not just from our perspective, but from the perspective of other players. Some of the higher Guardian ranks will actually be asking for you to step up, to actually rise to the occasion and prove to other Guardians that you are a strong player and a strong leader.
A lot of people have groups that they already play with, but this will really provide people the opportunity to be recognized for helping other people learn the game, but also provide more people to play with on a regular basis.
In the year of Lightfall, we're going to actually be investing in building a looking for group system. in
Yes!
Destiny itself. You'll be able to look for other players. You'll be able to find
Finally!
groups that are looking for players.
I'm so excited about being able to form groups in the next coming year.
Finally!
It can be really hard to get through some of the hard content solo, and making it so much easier to find people to
Oh
play
my
with is just gonna
gosh.
make getting into Destiny and doing the awesome content so much easier.
Yeah, and they'll be able to say, this is a player who I can trust to lead me through the new raid. I want to join their group. Or they can say, these are players who are new to the activity. I want to take them for that first raid because that'll be a great experience for them and a valuable experience for me as a leader.
It's really going to help players come together and understand each other better when they've never met before. It's going to make the game so much more social, and I think that it's going to really make Destiny players feel like they're on one team.
So commendations
Finally!
is a feature that you'll experience towards the end of an activity.
Guardian
So you end the
commendations as
activity and You
well.
can see the screen that has all the people you played with. You can click on one of the Guardians and choose what
I love
experience
that.
you had with them. So like, were they a good team player? Were they fun to play with?
There's no better way to
Oh, look
actually
at
show
this.
how good a person is as a teammate or as a leader than to have other players say, this person's a great teammate, this person's a great leader. It's really a system that's designed to let players show
kidding me
appreciation
right
for each other.
Also, using the commendation system, people are going to be able to say like, hey, this person as a good leader, and looking at the Guardian rank system,
I hope
they have a lot of
so.
experience. It's going to be, oh, that's the person I want to help me get through this hard content that I've been struggling with.
Social games like Destiny give you an opportunity to like really connect with other people and do things together and get to know each
Oh
other.
my
And
gosh, look
with
at
a system
this.
Like LFG, you're making it so that more people can get that experience started than ever before.
Both the loadout screen and
true.
the mod manager are completely new features.
The mod
In-game
manager is
loadouts and
going to
mod
make
manager,
construction
yes.
Destiny a lot easier.
We all love our fashion game. Fashion game's amazing. And so we're going to take what we did for the fashion game and we're bringing it to the Buildcraft game. There's going to be one screen where you can go to and do your entire
please.
loadout for your character.
Please, I want this so bad. I
you'll be able to
needed
save
this.
the build that you've put together as a
Yes.
loadout, and then switch between those things as you're going from activity to activity.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I feel like with the new release of Destiny and the commendation system mixed with Guardian ranks, we're giving players even new aspirations.
The
It isn't
music,
gonna be just
though.
about power level. It won't just be about
Larson.
gear. It's also going to be about that Guardian rank. It's going to be about those commendations. It's all the ways that we're bringing players together.
So today,
Everything
we're also
about that
launching a
was
brand
just
new
hit
season
everything
of
for me.
Destiny 2. And as we've evolved our seasons over the years,
Oh, we're
we've
talking about the
learned a
season
lot.
now.
And I think we've been able to deliver some amazing character moments and events for the community.
We're long
Yes.
past the era of content droughts. Instead, there are exciting story and events happening in Destiny almost every week.
Come on, come on,
year
come
round.
on, come on.
And we're not slowing down.
Come on, come on.
Each season, we want to keep raising the bar for narrative experiences in any live game. We want to keep pushing to create unexpected adventures
Okay.
that'll make every season of Destiny unique. And
Uh-huh.
we want to keep listening and learning from you, the Destiny community, so that we can create the strongest seasons of any live service.
Because the witness is coming. And if we want to survive, we need a crew. We need to enrich our defenses.
Gotta get ready for
Fearless
Lightfall.
thoroughly, and
Come on,
maybe
baby.
even loot our enemies.
We may even need to find a captain to join us on our next adventure in
What
the
you talking about?
season of Plunder.
Season of Plunder. Pirates? Pirates? Larson, pirates? Hey, yo.
The old crew's now rally under her command.
I've read about them.
Hey, yo.
What is the human word?
Pirates. The full
Hey, yo.
we rally to deal with these outlaws.
Well, anchors away.
Oh.
Go show those pirates what happens.
Oh.
when they crush Spiderhead.
Oh. Yes.
Hope you've got ammunition, Guardian.
Yes.
Time to blow
Yes.
the rickety barge.
Ooh, what's that? Hey, yo. Hey, yo. Is that a blunderbuss? Ooh. Ooh. Hey.
Sorry, getting a little swept up in
Hey.
adventuring.
Hey, yo.
What are you most excited about?
Hey, yo.
Pirates. This season we said, what if we just go to the stars and dig up buried treasure?
We are unearthing a lot of mysteries and secrets. We're swashbuckling onto enemy spaceships. And then we're also learning a lot of things about some of our favorite characters.
We're gonna have an adventure this season.
Season of Plunder kicks off with
you
Aramis being
kidding
freed
me?
from her icy prison. She's collected old, fallen crews of pirates and rogue Cabal together in order to hunt down mysterious relics and treasures.
It's time to meet your end.
So Guardians are tasked with stopping Aramis from collecting these relics.
Hey, yo,
And in order to
Mithrax.
do that, you have to create your own crew of shady dealers and backroom brokers.
Drifter, Mithrax, Ido, and Spider are going to be helping you.
Anchors away.
Ido? As in sure, Ido?
That's the beginning of Season of Plunder. What you're going to be doing is forming a pirate crew of your own. You're going to fill it with different crew members that you can recruit over the course of the season. Drifter is going to toss you the keys to your personal catch. Then you're just going
You
to
know,
set
we
out
get our own
into the
catch?
stars and do cool pirate stuff.
What?
So excited.
That's today? You get
This
our
season,
own
we
catch.
have multiple brand new activities coming that will really give you a sense of being on a pirate adventure. One of the
This
mainstays
is-
of this season is a new 6-player offensive called
Is it still
Catch Crash.
Destiny?
When I saw the concept for the catch with the big mainsails on it, I just said, oh my god, this is gonna be a fun season.
Just like seeing Catch Crash through the different iterations, like fighting on the deck of the ship.
You get to become your own ammunition and launch yourself from a cannon to the other ship, and you are the weapon, so you're gonna go mess them up.
The second big activity we have coming this season is called Expedition. You're going to be guiding a massive drill that's looking for this buried, hidden pirate treasure, and you're going to have to be fending off of all these pirate crews trying to protect their hoards. And then our final new activity coming this season is what we're calling Pirate Hideouts.
We have so many like different little maps that you can piece together fragments of this season, and they lead you to the lair of the Pirate Lord, right? Their hideout.
These are their caves where they're hoarding all of their amazing treasures and their mysterious relics.
These relics are mysterious objects of dark power, and they're all over the system. We don't know exactly what it is they do yet, but if Aramis is trying to collect them, it's nothing good.
Taking the opportunity to line the Arc 3.0 update with the Fallen, it just ended up working out perfectly because you got all the simple Arc weaponry and the Arc shielded captains. It feels right with that release, almost like we planned it.
Arc is a damage type that's about proximity, right? It's about going fast up into your enemy's faces and like deleting them. It's the damage type for people that want to hold W. You don't want to retreat.
Unbridled aggression to the max.
Hey, he's back. Kevin Yares.
Hunter is really about close range action, being fluid and dynamic and agile, evasive. So we're going to give our Hunter a new super.
I'm speechless.
Gathering Storm,
I'm legit
summon your
speechless.
Staff, like twirl it above your head and then launch it out, and then it will embed into the ground or into like bosses or mini bosses or champions and jolt them.
What's up,
Like a
Henri?
big lightning strike will strike the staff.
You speechless
and
too?
Overcharge it, and while that staff is overcharged, it'll start Tesla coiling little lightning bolts out at nearby enemies. Warlock is kind of this elemental conduit. You are a class that will turn yourself into lightning. You will create things out of lightning. Previously, we had this exotic armor piece called Getaway Artist, where you consume your grenade and it'll make a what we call a sentient arc soul that fires faster and does more damage as a result. So we decided to roll that into base arc soul behavior. Anytime you are amplified, any arc soul you have from any source will become the supercharged version that will fire off just rapid fire bolts.
Titan's about being this unstoppable freight train. It's about this constant movement. So we gave Titans a new movement option, something that we felt like is going to be competitive in this new environment of air dodges and air slams. That's a new ability called Thruster. And it's all in first person. It's all very much in the heat of the moment. You see it happen. Its whole property is like rush down or get away. It's a movement tool to the max. There's gonna
that
be
movement was
melee
slick.
ability
Did you
called
see that?
Thunderclap, which is like an amazing thing where he like charges his fist all super flashy. It's our first ever charge melee, so you hold down the button, and as that cocks back and charges up, you'll end up doing more damage and getting a little bit more range.
Oh, that's sick.
And
That's
speaking
dope.
Of like the whole goal of deleting things.
Did you
like
see
winning
that?
PvP, a full charge is a one-shot kill.
It is. Oh yeah.
It's a little skillful to like pull off because you're gonna have to really read your
Literally
opponent.
one punch, man.
The whole through line with Arc is like, it really isn't that complicated. It's move fast, hit hard, and stay alive.
Oh.
What I'm most excited about in Season of Plunder is that this is really a season that has a sense of adventure. You're exploring the system, you're looking for pirate treasure, pirate relics. You're seeing the world evolve in a way we haven't done before.
I love that with the activities in the season, like we just leaned really hard into the pirate fantasies. I love that we have your own catch. I love that you're tracking down buried treasure and then going after the pirate leaders in their caves.
The interesting thing about Destiny is we're not just a fantasy game or a sci-fi game, we're kind of a blend of both. We take inspiration when we say pirates, it's old world pirates that you would see traditionally back in the 17 and 1800s. We have like a flintlock pistol, we have an exotic fusion rifle that plays
flintlock
different
pistol?
than fusion rifles you've ever seen before.
It's just like end to end, just really leaning into that spirit of like the pirate adventure. And let's also make it so that new players coming in can actually jump in and get started. The gift of the Thunder Gods is a starter kit. It's a set of armor, it's a Thunderlord
Power
exotic
level
weapon.
for free with Gift of the Thunder Gods?
Jump in, join your friends, set sail, become the captain, and build your crew today in Destiny.
For free, for all players for free. Look at this! Look at him! Oh, let's go!
Man, it is so awesome seeing Kingsfall return to Destiny.
Yeah, actually, Kingsfall was the first
I
thing
think it's
got
just
to
the
work on
raid,
by.
but
And I'm thrilled that a whole new generation
Hey.
of Guardians will get to experience this refreshed and reloaded showdown with the Taken King.
So, we've shown you Lightfall. We've shown you the new damage type. We've shown you some of the deeper changes to the game that we're going to be making throughout the next year. But we have one more thing that we are
It
excited
really is, though.
to announce today.
one more thing.
Destiny is coming to the Epic Game Store today.
There it is.
Epic has been an absolutely fabulous partner to work with. They love Destiny. And we are just huge fans of what they've been doing in the social game space. When we first started working with Epic, we sat down and talked about the impact that their games have had on us. And they had a bunch of the same stories for us.
They shared stories about playing the Vault of Glass and how much they enjoy the social experiences in Destiny.
True.
And I got to talk about the summer of Fortnite Chapter 1, Season 5, when my whole family was laser focused, taking turns in the island to unlock Drift.
In addition to launching all of Destiny 2 on the Epic Games Store today, for the next week, if you download the game on Epic, we will give you the 30th anniversary for free. If you haven't earned your Galahorn yet,
That's a
or
good
you haven't
incentive.
played the Grasp Dungeon, come to the Epic Games Store and you can jump in for free.
We want to welcome all these new Guardians
Excellent.
with a celebration.
Good,
One
good,
that
good.
stretches a little further than the last city.
Oh. Oh, hey. Okay. That's actually pretty cool. Fall Guys stuff too. That's cool. And on the we get a armor set. Nice. Very cool.
A few years ago,
Okay.
we shared
Very
our
cool.
plans for the Light and Darkness
Very
saga.
nice.
This journey, years in the making, is coming to an end. Since we started charting our own course, we've been building this story. Across 5 years of expansions, since the first pyramid ship emerged in Shadowkeep and we first spoke to the darkness. Then, across Beyond Light, the Witch Queen, and coming up in Lightfall in the final shape, we're building towards a climactic collision between the powers of light and dark.
We've also been working on the Destiny engine behind the scenes, preparing our technology and our game to last for many, many years to come. Because Destiny 2 is not going anywhere, and neither are your expansions. We want this story, since we first communed with the darkness on the moon, to be fully playable, start to finish.
Hold on
And
now.
we're happy to announce today that we are not planning to sunset any more expansions. We want the Destiny universe to grow, and we're going to continue to do everything that we can behind the scenes to keep that possible within our game engine.
Finally.
But enough about the distant future. Let's talk about today. The
Finally.
best day all year to jump into Destiny.
Basically,
Yes. Because if you're looking to catch up, right
All
now, all
Destiny expansions are free to play
for this entire week on every
for the
platform
for this week.
for everyone.
Right now, Season of Plunder is live, and the Helm's got a set of supercharged
Gift of the Thunder
arc gear
Gods.
for anyone looking to catch up on the fun.
Instantly boost your
Destiny
player level
is
for
live on
free.
the Epic Game Store. You can download it for free.
Epic Game
and
Store
you can get the 30th
right now.
anniversary pack as your welcome gift.
Everything
like what
right
you
now,
saw
by the way. Legit right now.
Pre-orders for Lightfall are live on all platforms, and anyone who purchases the annual pass gets the exotic auto rifle Quicksilver Storm today.
Today is a perfect day to play Destiny.
So we'll see you in
That's exactly what it sounds like. I'm gonna pre-order. I want that so bad. True, the helm needs some Lysol though. Wait, did they say that pre-ordering the new DLC, pre-ordering Lightfall, we get Quicksilver today? Is that what they said? The annual pass. As in like the annual pass for... Oh! We'll have to see.
What they do then, that is who they are.
Oh! Post show, okay. Pull up Steam. We'll sit through the post show if it's still in maintenance. But curious. So that was sick. I was not expecting the way Lightfall turned out. Yeah. So Strand looks so. Let's talk about. Assuming the post show has nothing crazy. Let's talk about Lightfall real quick. Firstly, friggin' Neptune. Okay, Destiny I think still needs to be, it still hasn't, I think it's still in maintenance. Strand locks binds, Void locks lock bombs, yeah. So yeah, we've got Neptune going on with Neo Muna or Luna, whatever. So that's a whole futuristic city and everything. That's super sick. There's like these new humans, Neo Luna, yeah. There's like these new type of humans on Neptune that survived the collapse or whatever. They have their own thing. And then we got Strand. It's basically like psychokinetic like threads that we mess with and all that. That's sick. It's a new darkness power. And then we have the Witness teaming up with Cloud Striders, yeah, Lightless Guardians from Neo Luna. We have the Witness pairing up with Callus with his Shadow Legion and these Tormentors and the pyramids and all that. That's all on Neptune. That's gonna be sick. Lightfall comes out February 28th of next year, I believe. And then today, literally today, among the other things that came out today, we have a pirate season. Right? Yeah, they do look like Rolk. But we get a pirate season today. We get our own catch. We get pirate armor? Yarg, exactly. Like what?
Hey Guardians, and welcome to the Destiny 2 Showcase post show.
Hey, there's D Flawless. This is my boy.
As we are, because it is so good to finally share all the things the teams have been working on so hard behind the scenes. We've got Arc 3.0, we've got Space Pirates, we finally have Drifters saying more than 2 words. It's a beautiful thing, and we've got some really cool stuff lined up. Before we get to that, I want to say what a pleasure it is to welcome to the stage the one, the only, D Flawless.
Hey,
how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great.
Yes.
Thanks for having me. It's such a blast to be here. Like you said, we got Pirates, we got Arc 3.0, we got Light. We got so much stuff to talk about. I can't wait to dive into it and just go over everything.
Go ahead and give us your best Drifter impression. Go ahead.
Pirates.
Pirates. I love it. I love it. It's going to be great. We've got some deep dives with some of the developers that are responsible for the beautiful world of Destiny. We've also got a live gameplay stream later on.
Oh, live gameplay
as well, which is going to be a good time.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun.
Hopefully nothing
See you in game later.
No, we love crazy here. We're Bungie. Come on, let's go.
Well, never mind.
But speaking of deep dives, you actually have something coming up, right?
I do.
What you got?
I got some members of the dev team here with me, and we're going to be talking about some of the new stuff that's coming to Destiny 2. What's going on, y'all?
Howdy, folks. How's it going? Thanks for joining us.
What's going on? All right. So last time we did this was Shadowkeep, and Dado was here. And let's just address the elephant in the room. All right. There was a popular meme made, and I don't have a notebook like Dado did. I have cards. Okay. So you can't meme this. All right.
There's the meme right there. there's the meme right there.
How's everybody doing?
So good.
Happy to be here, man.
Awesome, awesome. Let's go around the table and let's have everyone introduce yourselves. Let's start with this lovely gentleman to my left.
Hey, everybody. I'm Joe. I'm the game director for Destiny 2.
Oh, hey, everybody. I'm Dan. I'm the general manager for Destiny 2.
I'm Taylor. I am the senior test lead for Season 18 and Season of Plunder. And yeah, excited to be here.
Hi, I'm Kat. I'm the project lead for Destiny 2 expansions.
Hi, I'm James Sy. I'm one of the creative directors on Destiny.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you all so much for being here. So let's just kick it off. We're all just talking. We're all just having a good time. What are we most excited for?
Neomuna.
Neomuna?
Yeah.
Neomuna. It looks so good. Did you guys see that trailer? It looked so good.
I'm very excited.
I'm very excited. I think in general, like in Destiny, we've went to very different destinations. There are very nature ascendant, and I think I'm really excited to just see what a up to date, like super futuristic neon city looks like, and I'm very excited to just use the grapple on that. So, yeah.
Grapple. Yeah, go.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say the thing about Newman. It's really cool because, as Kat was saying, we've gone to a lot of like abandoned places, a lot of nature ascendant places that are falling apart or overrun. But New Muna is like this. It's a civilization that the people believed in, and it was worth protecting. And it really embodies like the positivity and the hope and the optimism that runs at the core of a lot of what Destiny does. So it's a really cool place.
I think I'm excited for how different it feels from where we've been before. What Kat and James were saying. I think last year the team was sent on a mission, and we said, "Can you make a really cool swamp?" And they're like, "Okay, yeah." And then they're like, "Okay, we've gotten really good at this like swamp making." It was like, "Great. Now make a city, right? Like now make like futuristic, like something that's never been done before in Destiny, where you feel like minutes before you got there, it was functioning, right? Like people were thriving in this place, and that's just a place that we've never been before in Destiny."
Absolutely. You guys killed it with the design. And did I see this correctly? Are we getting destructible environments in the game?
So the game is like all about like blockbuster action, big fun sequences there. And yeah, there's definitely like some locations, some places where there's gonna be a lot of like things blowing up, a lot of visual flair. It's not like the kind of destructible, like dynamic destructible stuff where you're like gonna blow like a new path in the level and be able to like take a different route than you thought you could. But it really adds a lot to the mood and stuff to have like these things blowing up all over the place. It really complements the theme of the release.
Yeah, I think for us it's about really highlighting some of those moments, right? You're gonna place the rally banner down, and just a sea of Cabal or Vex is gonna pour out, and then suddenly glass is flying everywhere and brands are going right. And that's that moment that we want. And then we're like, okay. Yeah, I think I earned that, those 2 treasure chests for my encounter there. I'll be on my way.
After all the explosions.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's the trick, right? Like, it's a war zone, right? Like, I know we've been at war, and I know we've been protecting the last city, but to Joe's point, we just spent, the last year in a swamp kind of playing detective. And this is, the battle is there. It's huge. It's larger than life. So there's things blowing up. There's the constant struggle. It's just a very different vibe. I'm super excited for the action of it.
Who doesn't like blowing stuff up? I do. So we talked about a little bit. Tell us more about who we're going to be encountering on Neptune. Who are we fighting? We saw some Cabal.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing is, the Witness has pulled in and sent Callus, right? You probably saw that concept of Callus's, in classic style, the big pyramid ship with his own sort of effigy crowned on it. And so there's going to be a lot of Cabal. And then there's also this sort of Vex undercurrent threat of Neomuna as well. And so that's an interesting thing that players will sort of discover, what they've been dealing with for the past. But on top of that, I mean, Callus is back, loaded up, really as a disciple of the Witness, and so.
Is it really him?
I could say with like 97% certainty. It's like Callus and not a robot.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Definitely probably.
But yeah, it's so cool because we've been seeing like a ton of stuff going on with like Kaiatal and stuff in the past few seasons and things, and we're starting to explore like more of the backstory of like the Cabal, find out more about them as a combatant race. It's just really exciting to see that happening, like the Destiny universe continuing to grow, and Callus, like we're gonna find out like why he's signed on with the Witness. What does he want? What does he hope to gain?
Yeah, but speaking of which, though, but like, even though it's 97% Callus, and it's the Cabal, but it's not the Cabal we know, right? Like, as becoming a disciple, Callus got some upgrades. So like, there's a different Cabal we're going to be fighting. There's different flavors to it.
And I think the biggest upgrade, it's not just the Cabal. There's another unit of the pyramid coming with the Cabal, right? And the Witness said, hey, you're going to need some help, and that's what we call this the Tormentor, right?
Tormentors. Those things look terrifying. What can you tell me about the Tormentors? I'm excited to go up against these.
They are terrifying.
They are terrifying. We can tell you that. Yeah, so the Tormentors are a new pyramid unit that will be joining the Cabal and the forces of the Witness this time around. And they're basically bosses in the battle arenas that you will encounter throughout Neomuna. They are, as you said, terrifying to fight against. They have different phases, and they're really like, scary mini bosses.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we
mini
call
bosses.
them like
Okay.
terrifying Grim Reapers, and these things are awesome because they're like the first like pyramid units that are like in the core combatant sandbox now. So that they're gonna anchor like a lot of tough encounters, and they have a bunch of different ways they can hit you, right? They have like the like side thing we call them, like I said, our terrifying Grim Reapers. So they throw these like side like projectiles at you. They can rush in and like grab you and stuff. And it's just like it's a completely different experience fighting them. It's a really, really fun kind of like.
They're living up to their name.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get tormented by some tormentors.
I like how terrifying Grim Reaper was the throwaway term. Like that's scary.
This is Grim Reaper, but worse. Right? And we also have another new character type. What are we calling these Cloud Striders? What can we say about these guys? Are they friend, foe?
Yeah. A little background on the story of Neomuna. So during the first collapse, there was basically a ship that was able to escape, and that's how the society in Neptune started, and how Neomuna as a city came to be. They basically have been preparing all these years to avoid the second collapse and make sure that all their citizens are safe. As part of that, there is this class of people who actually are volunteers, and it's a very different paradigm from what we know as the Guardians. The Guardians are basically chosen by the Traveler to defend humanity. With the Cloud Striders, they actually volunteer to go through a bunch of cyber enhancements and really be ready to protect the citizens in the city. And so that's a very heroic thing to do. And we're going to be able to discover more of their story and how they came to be. But also it comes with a cost. Like they actually shortened their lifespan for about a decade as they are Cloud Striders.
Wow.
And so you basically have two at a time, one who's mentoring the next one, and we're going to see some of those things play out in Lightfall.
Yeah. What I sort of love about the Cloud Striders is they sort of form this mirror for the Guardian in a bunch of ways. We think of Guardians as the only heroes for the solar system, but the people of Neptune have come up with a different way. And you take yourself as a Guardian, this 6-foot mystic hero, and then you stand next to one of the Cloud Striders, and you're like, oh,
I'm small.
Yeah, and every one of the Cloud Striders looks like they're hitting the gym, morning, noon, and night, and they have a very different approach to combat maybe than our sort of like tactical view or mystic powerful view. They're all force all the time.
Yeah, it's a beautiful juxtaposition, right? Like
People that have recently joined, by the way,
said, that were chosen,
I am back officially
chosen
to
for
streaming.
immortality but still for defense and protection, versus these Cloud Striders that opt in to shorten their own life, the antithesis of immortality, to sacrifice their mortality also to defend. And it's interesting to see, to explore how those two different societies play out and how they approach battle and how they approach combat. It's going to be really awesome to see it play out.
That's awesome. So speaking of combat, we have a new energy type, Strand. Tell me everything about Strand. I want all the details.
Grapple. What else do you
I mean, it's green. You saw it was green. Like,
it's green. There you have it.
That's the bulk of it.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things for Strand, you know, is it's the first power where your guardian is the first person to ever encounter this. It's sort of a thing that you're learning about, and you have mentors that are helping you learn more about it. But you're really on the front lines of this sort of new darkness power, and what does it mean? And then I think how that gets, you know, translated into gameplay is this high mobility. We really love the thought of this, the cosmic web, right? Behind all of us, there's this web that connects everything, and Strand is about touching into that web. And that's why grapple can grapple anywhere, right? You don't need a point. Yes. The web is everywhere. You find the web and pull it towards you. And how the different classes sort of, you know, make this web come to life, I think is going to be really interesting for our players to discover over the next few months as we start talking more about it. Absolutely.
And it's been something that we've been exploring on throughout the whole campaign, is also your Guardian's journey in discovering Strand, as Joe was saying, and how we can learn and utilize this new darkness power is part of the story that we're gonna go through with players. And so it's been really cool. As a Titan, I'm very excited about doing the Titan thing and actually hold Strand and have like a whole AoE.
What's with all the punching?
Whoa, they're claws now. They're grafted on.
Excuse me.
This is a refined punching.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So yeah, super excited about Strand. And I think one thing that I really want to make sure that we highlight is what Joe said. Like, you don't need a grapple point to use the grapple. Like, you can actually grapple onto anything, the air or whatever you want, because we are using this cosmic web that permeates the world.
Yeah. That's really good for me, because as a hunter who regularly overextends himself into like every fight and is just like after 2 seconds like, I gotta get out of here, that grapple has saved my life a lot of times.
Sweet. Can't wait to get my hands on the grapple.
That's sick.
We
I can't
also
wait.
talked about the legendary campaign in the showcase. Is there anything new to the legendary campaign coming, or can we expect some of the classic rewards that we got last time with the getting us raid ready and things like that?
Yeah, I think from a reward side, you know, we're following a really similar story. I think we're going to give you the awesome, you know, gear at the end of the campaign to get you up in that powerful band. We're going to let you choose one of the new exotics. This time, we're making sure they have high stat rolls on them. But in addition, because you're unlocking Strand during all this, we're also going to give you a little bit of extra Strand currency. So if you do the legendary campaign, you're going to be able to earn 1 extra fragment right off the bat. But I think the differences really start to come less in the rewards and more in the campaign itself. If you look at the Witch Queen and what we did in the campaign of the Witch Queen, I sort of like to compare that to the Corrupted Strike, right? There's like a little bit of nuance, it's a little bit creepy, there's some mechanics going on, and you've got to play with a little finesse, right? Each thing is a little bit surprising. Really what we're doing in Lightfall is like the Proving Ground Strike, right? You're like, hey, you want to shoot a lot of people, right? Like, do you want to get in there and fight just a ton of Cabal? I think the thing, we're gonna have players go through the Legendary campaign, and when you hit that wipe screen on an encounter, sometimes you see the report and you're like, whoa, how many?
Did I do that?
I think you're Joe, not many.
Oh, shots fired.
I mean, Legendary campaign has been such a joy to to bring into the Destiny universe the past couple of releases. Just getting back to that that smart combat that you have to make choices. You can't just be James and rush in and then try and grapple your way out of trouble. You have to actually think about where you're going to stand, where you're going to aim, what your loadout is. How are you kitted out for this fight? And to see the designers at Bungie just spend so much time thinking about all the different dimensions of the encounter, all the different ways that a player can pick it apart, and the different ways that they want players to be able to make progress in it or push back on the players. There's just so much loving handcrafted work that goes into designing these encounters. It's just been so much fun to watch.
And honestly, just because I'm probably I'm definitely the most recent person to Bungie, I think seeing that, what James is just saying about the love that goes into crafting all these experiences has been absolutely just fascinating and just endearing, honestly. As a huge Destiny fan and now having the privilege of honestly working on my absolute favorite game in the world, it's amazing to see how it all comes together. And sorry, I'm gonna stop or I'm gonna get emotional. Go.
Good.
Sure. Taylor, let's. What are you thinking about the strand abilities? What are you excited for in Lightfall? What are you thinking you want to jump into?
I feel like most, except for James, we're all Titans here, right? No?
Warlock.
Wow.
No.
Okay. You know
Listen,
what?
I've seen.
There has to be.
I think we're the only Titans, really.
I think the biggest problem with being able to see the internal stuff is you see all the armor sets really early, and then you're like, okay, what class am I playing this time?
Yeah. Especially the aesthetic. That is always all about the fashion and like how your abilities will like kind of mesh with. I'm all about aesthetic fashion, so it's nice to kind of like fit that in with your subclasses.
Well, fashion is the real end game, right?
Oh yeah.
So we love fashion, we love Destiny, we don't want it to end, but we've heard talk about the end of this light and dark saga. What does that mean? Is Destiny going away?
No, Destiny's not going anywhere. I think the easiest way to think about the end of the Light and Dark saga is the end of a chapter in a much longer tale, a much longer book or series of books or something like that. Like, this is a great moment in time in the history of Destiny and in the history of the world, and we want to tell it right, and we want to have a satisfying conclusion, but a conclusion to that chapter, not the story of Destiny.
I think we've been, for a long time, we've been setting up this, we've got this big white ball in the sky, the Traveler, and we've got these big creepy pyramids coming from space. And we want to make sure that we're always making good on those stories, right? We say, hey, you've been waiting for this. We're going to give it to you. And then we're going to go to a next chapter, and we're going to be able to move beyond that in the Destiny universe and talk about new, exciting ideas.
Awesome. So Destiny is forever. You know what else is forever? Fortnite. Epic? What's going on?
I mean, like, why wouldn't we want to be on Epic Game Store?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, one of the key pillars of Destiny that our ambitious goal that we try to hold ourselves to is we want to be able to play this game anywhere. Right? Like, and just Epic Game Store is such a huge step in that direction. There's so many amazing gamers that are over there on that platform. And we're big fans of Epic, we're big fans of all those games. We're super excited today to be able to bring them, like, just bring Destiny to all those players who may not have experienced it before. And also worth mentioning, if you do go on Epic Game Store today and sign up, you do get the 30th anniversary pack that we launched last year for free.
Wow.
Forever.
Wow. I'm super excited to see all the collaborations, Epic, Fortnite, Fall Guys, all that. But before we get into that, there's some other things, very exciting things that the community's been asking for a long time. LFG's coming into the game. You finally did it. Give me the story behind this.
Yeah, I mean, Dan just talked about it, how important it is for us, for the Destiny 2 team, to make sure that Destiny is like a social game, and a game that like it's so easy to jump in and just like either play with your friends or find new friends to play with, right? And so LFG is really a step in that direction. And so making sure that we have a really good system in-game where you can jump into your favorite raid if your clan is not available for some reason, or you're actually looking for a clan, I think is going to bring a lot of those experiences to way more people than it currently does. And so it's super exciting that we'll be able to bring that in next year.
I think one of the most exciting things about LFG is the way the team is approaching it, right? And they want to make sure we have the right foundation, because we want a really stellar LFG tool in Destiny. And so, what's coming first with Lightfall is this thing we call Guardian Ranks. And Guardian Ranks for us it's this journey from the absolute new light player all the way to a Grandmaster, like PvE All-Star. And you can go through these ranks and it'll show you, hey, here's what you need to do next. Oh, you've mastered that? You should try some of this stuff. You should try learning about build crafting. Okay, you should try getting into dungeons. You should try getting into a little bit harder strikes. And we think of that as the base for
for LFG, because when you want to go to LFG, you want to know that the people that you're looking to build your raid team with, your dungeon team with, your trial team with, you want to know they're ready, right? And so Guardian Ranks really is this thing that you can say like, hey, I'm ready. Like I've done all the stuff that shows I'm ready for the raid.
Stats.
Yeah, and I think between Guardian Ranks and accommodations, we not only have the tools that are hopefully going to say, hey, I know I can build a good raid team in this tool. We also have encouraging people to go down and say, hey, let's take this person on their first raid, right? Let's bring them up. Let's get them up to the next level of Guardian Ranks. And so I'm really excited about how the social team is addressing all these things, because it's really important. We love the sort of unmatched made content in Destiny. We want to keep it challenging and engaging, but we also want to build those tools that are going to allow you to get into that content and say, oh yeah, I've done the raid, right? I've done the, I've gone and mastered some of the coolest content in Destiny.
Yeah, I think there's like a lot of cool elements that, like Joe's talking about, where it's like, it's showing you what you need to do to, to progress, how to spend your time. Another property I really like about Guardian Ranks is that as you move up, it forces you a little bit out of your comfort zone. It's getting you to try new things, to maybe do new things, like new activity types.
Going well.
To try and,
Thank you for the
put yourself
bits.
out there like a little more in terms
I'm back.
of like,
Back
like
to
the aspirational
streaming.
content, or trying to do some social things to keep your growth and your journey in Destiny like
So much cool
forward
stuff
at all
is
times,
happening
and
in
not falling
Destiny
into,
2
like,
now.
these,
You missed so much,
the same
but
patterns over and over. So there's
I'll be
a
uploading
lot
it
of
later.
Just really,
Oh,
really
man,
cool effects
crazy.
having like a Guardian Rank system, that has on the player.
Yeah, and one of the last things I think that we're really hoping the system can do is, Destiny can be an overwhelming game, not just for a new player to get into. Hey, there's so much stuff, what should I do? Also, if you're taking a break and you're coming back. And we really want the Guardian Ranks to be this place that you can go where you're like, what should I do? There's so much to do in Destiny. What should I do? And you can go say, okay, I should work on this.
Wait, you're allowed to take breaks?
You are allowed to take breaks. And I think this is a really important part of Guardian Ranks, is that even if you have friends who are playing, but like you're coming back to the game, or you're brand new to the game.
Now's a good time to come back,
that's
apparently.
probably a place you
So
can
much
point them
stuff.
to, and it's like,
So much
why
good
don't you
stuff.
just follow like this? And it's probably a great path for you to ramp up. And then Joe also mentioned commendations.
You're going to be
And
staying
one of
after
the really
this.
important things
I'll be
about
playing the new
building a game
season,
that's inherently
and I'll show you all the new stuff that's coming, or
is
that's
to make sure
in.
that our Guardians are in their best behavior and are being super helpful to the community. And so commendations after every match made activity is actually something that will be able to reflect that, where players will now be able to send commendations to each other and reward players for their good things that they did in the game. Either they were helpful, or like they were really good at PvP, or whatever it was. And so that system plugs into Guardian Ranks, and I think it's going to be really a highlight of the system.
Yeah. The once you get past all of the, hey, I've done all the content. There's a few
That's sick,
Guardian
right?
Ranks at the end.
You hear
They're
about
all
that?
Actually about
Freaking
that
amazing.
accommodation.
Wow.
It's
You
all
even get
about saying,
Fortnite armor in Destiny
okay,
2.
You've proven that you can do all this. Now prove that you're a person that other people want to play with. And it doesn't always have to be that you're the most amazing raid leader. It can also be that like, whoa, Kat's just like super dependable, right? She's got like a good attitude, and like you look at her lane in Vault of Glass, and you're like, yeah, it's handled, right? Like, and I can always count that like what's going on over there is on the up and up.
Is there like a comic relief one for those of us who are really just good on chat?
Yes.
Good backpack.
Yeah. I'll take
Good
it.
at riding the backpack.
That's right.
I want the troll commendation. I'm leading somebody off a ledge somewhere, put it in the game. All right. So one of the things we're going to get our hands on, well, now, season of the Plunder is here. Arc 3.0 is here. What do we have to say about Arc 3.0? There's so much cool stuff to get our hands on. Taylor, what do you think?
For Arc 3.0, it's touching like all things Arc, and so like one of the things that is really cool about Arc 3.0 is you can bring in older Arc weapons that have been your favorites. Mine is Trinity Ghoul, and like
Good
having
choice.
that like synergize with the new Arc 3.0. It's something that I think we're really excited to see everyone playing with Arc 3.0, being able to kind of build up and craft their own style, and seeing like what people come up with in the next few weeks. And I'm just really excited to see how everyone handles it. I'm really excited for like the Titan Thunderclap. I cannot wait for that.
Titans get another one-shot ability. What
I'm just excited. I get to throw my arc staff.
Yes.
I cannot tell you how many times I have popped that thing, gone twirling, gone after somebody, and they just just jump over me, and I just go right off the ledge to my doom. Now with like being able to throw the arc staff, like I have like a whole nother way to just like miss and like be totally ineffective.
Oh,
with my
chat,
super
just to
big
let you
attack
know,
by everybody. It's like-
after
it's-
the Bungie stream is done. Oh, you did? Okay. After the Bungie stream is done, I will be restarting stream, so don't go anywhere. I have to restart stream because
Let's just put that in the
my
game.
FPS is lower than it should be.
So also, Blink is back on the menu.
Yes.
How great is that?
I mean, I'm excited for the people that love Blink. As someone that is constantly the victim of people that are in
I'm struggling now, aren't I?
jumping puzzle, like, oh, don't worry, guys, I'm great at Blink. And then we're just sitting there, we're on the
Oh, 'cause
King's
Destiny's
Fall 2
updating.
ships, we're looking down at them, and you're like,
You got it,
you
buddy?
sure? You sure you're great at Blink?
Oh man, so Arc 3.0 is here. We got Season of Plunder, Pirates. Let's talk about the narrative theme of this season. Why pirates? What are we doing?
Why not?
Why not? I know. I realize I set myself up for the why not.
I mean, yeah, who doesn't like pirates? I think that we've seen time and time again in pop culture, like we're always so fascinated with like the pirate fantasy of like action, adventure, peril, a lot of that unknown on the open seas, and that felt like we could really
I don't know what that was.
merge that into the Destiny universe and make it make sense, because there's always looming danger in the universe. Like there's so much
that's me getting
empty
in, okay.
space. You don't know what's lurking
All
out
right,
there.
just like how I put it in
And
chat, I will be
think
right
it's
back.
also a really cool way that we can
Don't go anywhere.
tap into some
I shall
further
return.
stories about like drift